driving through Canleyvale. All right, just pulled up at Claire's house, about to go in. Her dad's gonna make me some Burmese snacks, which I'm really excited for. And then afterwards, we're going to the last remaining Burmese restaurant in Western Sydney for a big feed. Can't wait. Let's go. I'm Arka, an actor and filmmaker with a passion for eating local. I'm taking out some mates from a film I worked on recently to explore some of the unique food and culture that Western Sydney has to offer.
Thanks for coming.
No worries.
I'm so
Thanks for having me. Shoes off.
Yep.
Asian house.
Yeah, parents' rules.
Oh, wow.
Menu
Oh,
stuff.
I can smell it already. It's amazing.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hi.
Lovely to meet you.
Hello.
Oh, we'll do this.
Yeah.
Claire's family is of Chinese-Burmese heritage. Myanmar, or formerly Burma, is a country in Southeast Asia bordered by Bangladesh, India, China, Laos, and Thailand. So I guess it's no surprise that Burmese food is influenced by all these different neighboring countries, giving it its own unique mix of flavors.
I think Burmese people learn from Indian. Indian people. Yeah, because in Burma, many Indian people living there, so they learn some from Indian.
So this is like, do you think this is like a Burmese style? Because you put, what have you got in here?
Like potato. Potato and some meat. Sometimes I do the vegetarian. Curry leaf, mint, chili, chopped chili, ginger, garlic, lemongrass. Yeah.
I love samosas, so I cannot wait to eat these. I consider myself a bit of a samosa connoisseur, but I've never really had them Burmese style before. I've heard that Claire's dad is a great cook, so I was really keen to try his samosas, with lemongrass, mint, and curry leaves in it. Very different to the ones I've had growing up.
Here's the snacks.
Oh my God. This is great. Okay, so this is the fritter one that he made?
Yeah, that's bear jaw. Jaw just means like crunchy thing, I think, like fried thing.
Man, it's so good. It's like a pakora.
Yeah.
And you pretty much grew up in this house? Like, it's such a beautiful garden.
Since I was 3, and like before I was 3, still in the area, so like,
Sorry, I need to take a bite of this and just talk about it for a second.
Yeah, what do you think?
Okay, here we go, ready?
I'm curious for your like thoughts.
That is amazing. It's truly amazing because that curry leaf gives it like a real like South Indian kind of flavor.
Interesting.
Because South Indian food is full of curry leaf.
Yeah.
And like the mint and like there's so much in that gives it almost like a spring roll-y kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's like the Chinese.
Yeah.
Because like I do hear that Burmese food is often like described as like Indo-Chinese.
Indo-Chinese, yeah.
Because it's like...
This is like an Indo-Chinese samosa.
Yeah.
Were you always writing like in school or is that something that's quite new?
Yeah, I've been writing, I mean like, since I was like literally like 5 or something.
Wow,
like, in terms of like my passion for it. Yeah, I remember like one of my first stories was about like a horse called Coriander or something. I wasn't a horse girl even. It was just like...
I love how Asian that is too.
Yeah,
the horse's name is
Coriander.
Like, I know you're young and just starting out, but like, do you feel like that's even speaking generally, like, do you feel like there's that sort of pressure of ethnic writers or Asian writers to write about Asian things like all the time?
I don't know, I just feel most comfortable writing like Asian characters, and like I feel like in my stories like the ethnicity is not really the point of the story. Like they're just kind of, that's just who they are. Like this is the default, like in my brain, that's like the default character because like that's my background, and I can like kind of switch on to that lived in feeling straight away. Yeah, we never really write thinking like it's gonna be about like, you know, being Asian, being South Asian or East Asian or whatever.
After all the backyard snacking, we made our way over to Blacktown for a big Burmese dinner. There's no Burmese hub in Sydney just yet because the community is still growing, and the cuisine is largely home cooked. But I guess that's what makes it so unique and worth trying. When you walk into this restaurant, it feels like you've been transported to a family home in Yangon. I just couldn't wait for all the food to come out.
Cooking is my hobby. So, and always I'm cooking. My family and my church and my community, always I'm doing like that. So after that, all the friends, they say, just open the restaurant. And then I really want to introduce my food to the Australian people. the Burmese food, the really authentic. So that's why I started in 2012. So we have about 2-3 food you can't get anywhere. Especially like we call the pep. That is a tea. That is only our people is eating. So that is the one thing you can get here. Until now, I go to the market, I cook everything, I do everything. Because of this is a very small family business. Only my wife, my son, and only my nephew and niece, that's all. Yeah, a lot of people coming, not only from Blacktown, all over the Sydney, just some very far. Just they want to eat, so they have to come down. Because of only one place they can get this food, so that's why.
Getting ready for dinner, we were joined by Jing-Xuan Chan, an actor from here out west. She told me earlier that she was really keen to try Burmese food for the first time today. For the entrees, we got the lapet, a tangy and crispy Burmese leaf salad, and we had to get the mahinga, which is the traditional Burmese fish soup, and also the fried gourd fritters, which reminded me of Claire's dad's garden.
Dad grows the melons in our yard.
No way, that's
to make the gourd, fried
good.
gourd. So
Does your dad make this?
Yeah, he does make this. This is one of the things he wanted to make, but then like, there are a lot of options. So.
Yeah. I can't believe I've never had this before. I'm surprised.
This is kind of like the national dish.
National dish.
Like, yeah, like when I visited, it's like
Oh my God.
the people in the streets selling it in vats.
Do you feel Burmese when you go back to Burma, or do you feel like you're experiencing it for the, like a new thing?
It was definitely new because like, yeah, I feel like my kind of upbringing was so random because like, my parents are like, yeah, we're Chinese, but like they're culturally, they speak to each other in Burmese, like all the food's Burmese.
Yeah.
I think because like, yeah, that was like my first time in a Southeast Asian country, so it's a very different like vibe, basically.
And do you speak the language?
I can understand it, but I can't really speak it, no.
What about, do you feel like that? I mean, did you say you're Cantonese from Hong Kong?
Yeah, so I was born there and we moved here, like the whole family moved to Sydney when I was like 1, so grew up here. But interestingly, I remember like, because here, you're labelled as Chinese, a Chinese Australian.
Yeah.
But then going back to Hong Kong and like being old enough to compute so I'm around people that look like me and going, but there's quite a difference too, and sensing the cultural clash where you're meant to be, this is where you're from. And I found that really interesting. Yeah.
For the mains, we got the shredang kakse, a classic Burmese flat egg noodles topped with chicken curry. And we just had to also get the goat meat curry because it was so juicy, tender, and a little coconutty too. So how did you find doing this like Burmese Chinese role, Jing-Xuan? I mean, have you played a role like this before?
Well, I found it really interesting because Burmese is not my own culture, so it was really lovely getting to learn a little bit about it. But it was nice. Like, it's still rare that I get to perform in Cantonese.
Yeah.
So that was really special. I guess my dominant language is English, but Cantonese is a first language of sorts as well because it's the language spoken around the home, and so there's a real connection when I hear it and when I speak it. That's really nice.
We had to finish with the pink faluda, a spongy, cakey Burmese dessert that's very popular across Southeast Asia. Overall, a perfect way to end the night. I remember growing up next to a Burmese neighbour, and every time I'd go to his house, his mum's cooking smelled just like my mum's. A little bit South Asian, a little bit East Asian, maybe somewhere in the middle. I wish there were more Burmese hubs scattered around Sydney, but it is moving to see the resilience of the community in keeping their traditions and food alive. If you like that, watch more eps here or watch Here Out West.